So in this session, we will try to understand the k-means algorithm. Let us start with the plot where you have two clusters and you have to identify the number of clusters while you start your algorithm. In case if you are not sure how many clusters are there, then we will see another technique where you can start with the random number of clusters. So the first step is to find out a random cluster centroid, and if we are working on two clusters, we can say that there are two centroids for two clusters. Now I have marked them in the red and blue with the cross sign, and the two centroids are defined for the two clusters. And in the next step we will need to find out the nearest objects related to this centroids. All the points on the plot which are close to red cross needs to be marked as the red and the blue with the blue. So let us do this and it would look like this. So now you can say that there are two clusters, one with the red color and another with the blue color. This is our first step. So based on the cluster centroid, the nearest points had been identified, and then they are placed into the different clusters. As you can see that it's not the perfect clustering, because some of the point which look in the cluster belonging to the red zone are shown in the blue, and blue are in the red zone. To improvise the k-means algorithm, the next step is to find out the means of the assigned nodes and then move your centroid towards that mean. So now your new centroid will be the mean of all the points which belong to that cluster. So that is why the name k-means algorithm came. K refers to the number of clusters. It may be 1, 2, 5 or n number of clusters. We denote them as K. Since we are using the mean method to optimize the model, it is called k-means algorithm. So if you calculate the means and then if you try to improvise the model, you would find that your next centroid would be placed somewhere here for the red cluster, and for the blue it would be somewhere here. And after having the new cluster centroids, again we will need to cluster all the points. So if you cluster them again, you will be able to see that most of the points are clustered properly except a few in the red zone which are shown as blue. So again you will need to calculate the mean of all the points in the same cluster, and then that mean will become your new cluster centroid. So let us do it one more time and you will be able to see the improvement. Now the red centroid has moved to the center of the red cluster, and the blue has moved to the center of the blue. And after that, again if you assign the points to the cluster, then you will be able to see that the clusters are now defined properly and they are separated properly. If you keep iterating this process, then it will become very stable and the cluster centroid will not move further. Let us understand how mathematically this k-means algorithm can be implemented. Let us start with the input. For this k-means algorithm, we need two inputs. The first input is the number of clusters, k, which we have to identify and which we have to specify. The second is training set, which is generally x1, x2 up to xn. You should observe two important things. We are not starting with x0, and the second important thing is we do not have y here. Our training set is unlabeled data set. It does not contain any labels, and that's why there is no y mentioned in the training set. After having these two inputs, for the process of the algorithm, we start with the random k cluster centroids. So if you have two clusters, you have to initialize two cluster centroids. If you have three clusters, you have to initialize three cluster centroids, and if you have k clusters, you have to initialize the k cluster centroids, and these all are the randomly initialized cluster centroids. This is the reason why the k is used in the name of the algorithm. In the second step, we have to repeat through the process until we reach to the final clustering state. The first step in the repeat is for I is equal to 1 to m. If you remember, m refers to the number of samples or the number of rows in the training data set, and we have to assign the cluster centroids to the nearest points. It means that you have m number of records, and for each of them you have to assign one cluster centroid. If you are working on two clusters, then each of the points in the dataset should be assigned to the nearest cluster centroid. So for example, your point number 1 is close to the first cluster centroid, then it has to be assigned to that cluster centroid. If the point number 2 is close to the second cluster centroid, then it has to be assigned to the second cluster centroid. And if the point number 3 is near to the first cluster centroid again, then the third point should be assigned to the cluster centroid 1. Thus now your cluster centroid is having 2 points and cluster centroid 2 has only 1 point. Similarly, you can keep assigning the points to each of the records in the data set until you complete, and then finally you will be having assignment of all points to the nearby cluster centroids. In the second step, we are finding the new cluster centroid for all the clusters. That's why we are starting from 1 to k, and the k new is nothing but it is the mean of points assigned to cluster k. If your cluster centroid 1 has been assigned 10 points from the data set, then you have to calculate the mean of all 10 points, and then that mean will become the new cluster centroid for that cluster. Similarly, you have to repeat for all the clusters, and then again you start the loop from the beginning, where you will assign the newly identified cluster centroids to the nearest points, and then again you will try to find out the new cluster centroid, and then you keep repeating it until the optimum results are achieved. So this is how mathematically K-means algorithm can be implemented. In the next session, we will see the practical implementation of K-means algorithm.